It is 2 o'clock in the morning. Emily sits alone in the kitchen, gripping her phone with shaking hands. A sudden wave of panic has taken hold of her. Her heart races, her breathing becomes irregular, and her thoughts spiral into a storm of anxiety. Who can she reach at this hour? Her therapist will not be available until morning. Her friends are asleep, and the feeling of isolation only deepens her fear. Desperate, she opens the Mind Care app. "I'm here, Emily. Tell me what's happening." The message appears from the AI therapist. After 15 minutes of conversation, her breathing slows and the panic fades. The AI did more than ask questions. It recalled her history, past episodes, and the relaxation methods that had worked for her before. Psychotherapy has moved beyond offices and fixed schedules. It now lives in your pocket, accessible around the clock, without judgment, and tailored to the individual. The shift happened quietly, yet its impact is transforming the lives of millions who once faced their darkest nights alone. What actually takes place inside a digital psychologist when we seek its help? Modern AI therapists are sophisticated, multi-layered systems, nothing like the simple chatbots of the past. They are built on transformer neural networks designed to capture the finest nuances of human language. When you describe your experiences, the algorithm does more than identify keywords. It evaluates context, emotional tone, and even what remains unspoken. Like a seasoned therapist, it tracks pauses between messages, shifts in writing style, and how often certain phrases appear. Anxious thoughts are translated into data vectors and matched against millions of patterns drawn from training data that includes real therapy sessions. Within seconds, the AI selects the most effective dialogue strategy, deciding when to clarify, when to suggest a calming exercise, and when to simply offer empathetic listening. At the core of the system is a personalized patient model. With every interaction, the algorithm sharpens your psychological profile, storing triggers, successful techniques, and preferred ways of communicating. Modern AI therapists also combine data from wearable devices, heart rate variability, sleep patterns, physical activity, to form a complete picture of your state. This enables the system to detect approaching crises before the person notices them and to propose preventive support. Imagine your DNA as a unique code that shapes not only eye color, but also how the brain reacts to stress, loss, or joy. AI therapists have learned to interpret this code, creating therapeutic strategies with unprecedented precision. Genetic markers are becoming a guiding compass in the vast landscape of psychological methods. Central to this advance is the study of polymorphisms that influence neurotransmitter systems. For instance, variations in the SLC6A4 gene affect how the brain processes serotonin, a key neurotransmitter linked to well-being. For individuals with certain variants, cognitive behavioral therapy can be far more effective than meditative approaches. AI systems assess these traits through non-invasive saliva tests and integrate the results into the therapeutic algorithm. Another case is the COMT gene, which influences dopamine metabolism. Its variants determine sensitivity to stress and the speed of emotional recovery. For carriers of the VALVAL variant, brief and intensive sessions work best, while the MET variant responds to a softer, more gradual approach. Smart algorithms also factor in pharmacokinetics, the science of how genes influence drug absorption and processing. When therapy involves medication, AI adjusts its recommendations according to genetic differences in metabolism. This personalized approach cuts the risk of side effects by up to 70% and can double treatment effectiveness. This is critical for patients whose genetic makeup makes standard doses of antidepressants or anti-anxiety medications difficult to absorb. Our everyday routines reveal far more about us than we realize. The way we sleep, eat, move, and unwind is not just habit, but rich material for psychological insight. Modern AI therapists transform this information into a detailed personal profile, uncovering hidden patterns that can escape even trained human observers. Algorithms monitor sleep and wake times, noting restless periods and nighttime awakenings. Waking at 2 o'clock in the morning may signal anxiety, while consistent early rising can point to depression. Smart sensors measure how much time you spend in deep sleep, which is essential for emotional recovery. Even how often you check your phone at night becomes a meaningful diagnostic signal. Eating behavior also reflects mental well-being. AI evaluates not only what you eat, but how you eat. Sudden appetite changes, emotional overeating, or skipped meals are all tracked. The system detects which foods you turn to during stress and incorporates this into the therapeutic plan. Physical activity adds another layer of insight. Algorithms observe how movement patterns shift as mental states improve or decline. They register days when simply getting out of bed feels overwhelming. Micro-habits, small unconscious actions, are especially revealing. How often you check notifications, how fast you type, how quickly you reply. Even your daily walking routes all combine into a distinct behavioral signature. Deviations from this rhythm often signal an emotional crisis long before clear symptoms emerge. Every click, like, and message leaves a digital trace that can reveal more about mental health than hours of traditional conversation. AI systems have turned behavioral data analysis into a powerful diagnostic instrument. Social media has become a mirror of the inner world, where algorithms detect what remains hidden even to ourselves. When Sophia began posting only black and white photos, the AI therapist noticed it well before visible signs of depression appeared. It tracked shifts in color choice, fewer smiles in selfies, and the gradual absence of other people from the frame. Sophia herself was unaware of these changes, but for the algorithm, they formed a clear diagnostic pattern. Response speed is another valuable indicator. AI measures how long you view a message before replying and how often you start typing only to erase the text. A sudden delay between receiving and reading messages can suggest social withdrawal, while compulsive notification checking may signal rising anxiety. Even the way you hold your phone becomes diagnostic data. Subtle movements, device angle, and screen pressure create a unique behavioral profile, and changes in this profile can reflect emotional shifts. Modern AI therapists also examine language patterns. They track changes in vocabulary, sentence structure, and the use of emotionally charged words. A higher frequency of the pronoun I, combined with fewer social references, often precedes depressive episodes. Imagine a system that understands you more deeply with every passing day. Adaptive algorithms at the core of modern AI therapists make them more than simple tools. They become genuine companions on the journey toward mental health. These are not fixed programs, but dynamic, evolving systems that develop alongside you. Every conversation, every response, every exercise adds another layer to your personalized therapeutic experience. When Daniel first approached an AI therapist with anxiety attacks, the system suggested a standard set of breathing techniques. Some were helpful, others were not. The algorithm remembered this. The next time, it offered only what had proven effective, while introducing new alternatives. Within a month, the system already understood which methods worked best for Daniel in different situations, under stress, at work, during family conflicts, or while struggling with insomnia. Feedback loops are a central component of adaptive therapy. AI does not merely provide advice, it carefully monitors outcomes. Algorithms evaluate both direct feedback and indirect indicators, shifts in sleep, activity levels, and social behavior. If a method fails, the system quickly changes course instead of repeating ineffective strategies. This sharply contrasts with some human therapists who follow the same approach for years, regardless of results. The true breakthrough came with predictive models capable of forecasting changes in a patient's condition. By processing thousands of variables, the system can identify looming crises days or even weeks in advance. For Laura, this became a lifeline. The AI therapist detected the early signs of a depressive episode through subtle shifts in her digital behavior and activated a basic support protocol before symptoms became obvious. When technology enters the most personal areas of our lives, difficult questions inevitably arise. Can an algorithm truly comprehend human suffering? Does a machine have the right to store our deepest fears? The boundary between innovation and ethics in AI psychotherapy is growing increasingly unclear. Data privacy is the first major concern. Psychological sessions have traditionally been protected by strict confidentiality, yet digital systems collect and process unprecedented volumes of personal data. Emotional breakdowns, childhood traumas, sexual preferences, all of this can become part of training datasets. Even with strong anonymization, the question remains whether we are ready to entrust the darkest parts of ourselves to corporate servers. Informed consent is another troubling issue. Most users accept lengthy agreements without reading them. Do they realize their psychological profiles may be used to train future algorithms? Do they understand the risks of re-identification when different data sources are combined? Addiction presents an equally complex challenge. When a therapist is available around the clock, knows every trigger, and never grows tired of listening, could this weaken independent coping abilities? Some users already admit they prefer talking to AI over real people. A system designed to heal may unintentionally foster a new form of isolation. Despite its progress, AI psychotherapy has fundamental limits. There are boundaries technology cannot yet cross, and perhaps never will. Situations involving a high risk of self-harm or suicide require immediate human involvement. When the empathy system detected suicidal intent in Michael's messages, it did not attempt to manage it alone, but immediately contacted an on-call psychiatrist and emergency services. This protocol has saved countless lives. Severe traumatic experiences are another domain where machine intelligence gives way to human understanding. Algorithms can detect the signs of PTSD, but healing deep trauma demands the uniquely human ability to empathize on an intuitive, embodied level. This nonverbal, energetic bond between therapist and client cannot be digitized. The future of psychotherapy does not lie in replacing people with machines, but in their balanced collaboration. Hybrid treatment models are already demonstrating strong results. AI handles monitoring, daily support, and skill building. Human therapists concentrate on profound work, complex existential issues, and moments of true breakthrough. This partnership expands access to care while preserving its quality. The true value of AI in psychotherapy is not in mimicking humans, but in enhancing what makes them irreplaceable. Technology broadens the reach of specialists, allowing them to focus on what turns psychotherapy into an art rather than a purely scientific process. A genuine encounter between two human beings. Andrew stared at his computer screen, but the lines of code swam before his eyes. 3 months of severe depression had turned the once successful programmer into a hollow version of himself. His apartment in a new building on the outskirts of St. Petersburg had become a voluntary prison. His medical leave was coming to an end, yet he had no strength to return to work. Traditional therapy brought no relief, antidepressants caused side effects, and visiting a psychologist meant traveling across the city. An overwhelming challenge on days when even taking a shower felt like an achievement. Try NeuroMentor, a colleague wrote in a message, attaching a link to the beta version of a new AI system. Andrew doubted the idea, but he had no alternatives. What surprised him first was that the system avoided scripted questions. Instead, it predloged a brief genetic saliva test, synchronization with a fitness tracker, and access to his digital footprint. A week later, Andrew received a personalized therapy protocol. You carry a COMT gene variant linked to heightened stress sensitivity and slow cortisol elimination. Standard antidepressants are ineffective for your genotype, the AI explained. The system recommended a different strategy: minimal but regular physical activity, a tailored sleep schedule, and customized cognitive exercises. Flexibility was essential. The AI mentor identified that Andrew's negative thought loops most often emerged between 7 and 9 o'clock in the evening. During these hours, the system proactively offered engaging tasks, gradually disrupting the destructive cycle. When movement data showed that Andrew remained indoors for several consecutive days, the AI added gamified elements, small outdoor challenges paired with virtual rewards. 3 months later, Andrew returned to work. 6 months later, his depression had fully lifted. The AI didn't just follow instructions, it truly understood me, he says now, helping other users learn the system. A human therapist could never track my patterns around the clock or adjust treatment instantly. But most importantly, the system supported me during moments when I wouldn't have had the strength to reach out to a person. Laura was a top law student, yet her academic success was overshadowed by one issue: debilitating social anxiety. Every appearance at the board, every seminar presentation became a form of torment. Her heart raced, her palms grew damp, and her voice betrayed her with trembling. "I know the material, but I can't show it," she wrote bitterly in her diary after yet another failed attempt at public speaking. Traditional therapy brought little relief. The psychologist relied on standard methods that failed to reflect Laura's individual traits. Everything shifted when the university launched the Social Ease Pilot Program, a system designed to address social anxiety through personalized analysis. The first step was a deep assessment of Laura's triggers. It revealed that her fear was highly specific. It was not simply public speaking, but a fear of negative judgment combined with pronounced perfectionism. The AI coach created a gradual program of micro-exposures adapted to Laura's physiological responses. Instead of conventional breathing exercises, the system introduced a tactile grounding technique, subtle finger movements activating specific points on the palm that quickly reduced anxiety. A wearable sensor tracked heart rate variability, and when rising panic was detected, Laura received a gentle vibration and a prompt to apply the method. The real breakthrough came with virtual reality paired with biofeedback. The AI generated digital replicas of university classrooms and simulated different presentation scenarios. Laura trained in a controlled, safe environment, while the system steadily increased difficulty based on her reactions. When she confidently defended her thesis before a full audience 2 months later, the result felt almost unreal. The system taught me not only how to manage anxiety, but how to understand how it works in my own case. Today, she shares this insight, helping other students facing similar struggles. The AI coach became a personal guide to a life without fear. It knew when to support, when to challenge, and never lost patience. The Kovalev family was facing a crisis. After their parents' divorce, 13-year-old Olivia withdrew into herself. 10-year-old Ethan grew aggressive, and communication between the former spouses collapsed into constant blame. Traditional family therapy failed. Bringing everyone together at the same time was simply impossible. That was when a psychologist proposed an alternative approach. Family Sync, a system using artificial intelligence to coordinate family therapy in the digital era. The process began with individual assessments of each family member. For Olivia, the AI created a safe, text-based space where she slowly opened up, sharing feelings of betrayal and fear of losing her connection with her father. For Ethan, the system offered a playful therapeutic format that redirected aggressive impulses into constructive actions. AI helped the parents see conflicts through their children's perspective using digital mirror technology. The algorithm analyzed and visualized the children's emotional responses to different family situations. The defining feature of this approach was asynchronous communication. The family no longer needed to gather physically. The system coordinated the therapeutic process, collecting input from each participant and forming a complete picture of family dynamics. Based on this data, the AI designed personalized relationship repair plans for every family member, accounting for personality traits, schedules, and preferred communication styles. After 5 months, the first breakthrough appeared. Olivia agreed to have dinner with her father. Ethan was able to calmly talk about his feelings with his mother. The AI not only recorded these improvements, but adapted the strategy in real time, slowly rebuilding connections between the fragmented parts of what had once been a unified family. We are standing at the edge of a new era in psychotherapy, where the boundary between technology and human consciousness grows thinner each day. The future of personalized AI therapy is already taking shape, captivating even the most daring futurists. Neural interfaces may become its most transformative element. Non-invasive devices capable of reading emotional states directly from brain activity without the need for verbal expression are already being tested. Imagine therapy in which AI detects emerging anxiety before you become aware of it and gently adjusts neural pathways to restore balance. Virtual reality will move from experimentation to standard practice. AI will construct personalized virtual environments where trauma can be processed safely, phobias confronted under controlled conditions, and new behavioral patterns reinforced through immersive experience. Future systems will merge into a unified mental health ecosystem. Data from smart homes, vehicles, and urban infrastructure will combine to create a complete picture of psychological well-being. A refrigerator tracking eating habits, a car analyzing driving behavior, even city cameras observing gait, all will become part of the therapeutic loop. The most powerful promise of future AI therapy lies in prevention. These systems will not merely respond to crises, but anticipate and prevent them, shaping conditions that support psychological well-being before problems ever arise.